Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, it's Bertrude, and today we're using my Magma Mayhem build. Let's take a look at it. With a level 40 build, we've got 35 vigor, minimum strength and dex for our weapons, and then 25 intelligence and 14 faith. In our flask we're using the flame knot to boost our fire attacks, and the opaline hard tier for the damage negation. And here's a quick look at the armour and talismans. Pay special attention to the Godfrey icon to boost our charged spells, the Graven Mass Talisman to boost our sorceries, and then the Two Fingers Heirloom to boost our faith by 5. Our two main aspects of the build is that we're using 2 Gelmir staffs for the added damage. Then we've got Magma Shot and Rolling Magma, 2 absolutely awesome Magma spells. For our weapons on the build, we're using the Monk's Flame Blade. As well as this, we've also got the Morning Star. And then finally, our last choice is a Thorned Whip. All of our weapons are cold infused, and then as well as this, all of the Ashes of War on every single weapon is Endure. The idea behind this is that we can use Endure and then Poison to land in some of our big damage sorceries. And that's the build, guys. This build is a hell of a lot of fun. It's the kind of build that I could invade on all day and not get bored. But anyway guys, it's time for you lot to sit back, relax and enjoy the video. Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Let's start having a look at these invasions. We've got the first one here up in the Alberneric village in Leonia of the Lakes, and we've got these 2 sneaky little schmeagles who was trying to hide. He was trying to hide up there in the bushes, but I'm too clever for him. So this build is all about Magma Shot basically. We've got Rolling Magma on the build as well, but I made this build wanting to base it around Magma Shot. I've had a little taster of the Magma spells on my Chaos Maker build. I actually used Rolling Magma on that one, and I did try to use Magma Shot on that one as well, but I could never work out how to make it successful. It never seemed like it was doing that much damage. It never seemed like it was that reliable, but I knew it had potential, you know. I knew that I could make it work. It was just a case of building the right kit around it. So that's what I set out to do with this build. I wanted to make it as lower level as possible, if I can say it. So I settled on level 40 and I got all the stats. Using the Two Fingers Heirloom as well for the 5 extra faith, I got all the stats that I needed to make it work. So that's why we're using the 2 Gelmir staffs to boost the damage of our sorceries. Obviously the Gelmir staff is going to boost the damage of both of our sorceries here, boosting the Magma sorcery damage. So we've got 2 Gelmir staffs. We've also got the Godfrey icon, which is going to enhance the damage of our charged spells, which is something we're always trying to do. We've got the flame tier in our flask to boost our fire damage. And then we've also got the Graven Mass Talisman as well, which is going to boost the damage of our sorceries. And these spells are sorceries, don't forget. So overall, I am getting quite a lot of damage out of these spells. And the game plan is pretty simple. We're going to attack them with our weapons. We're going to try and draw them into us. And then when they get overly confident... See, look at this host. This host knew it was done. This host knew it was a done deal, and he's gone and jumped off the ledge like an absolute coward. You coward. But anyway, sorry. The idea is that we draw them in with our weapons, trying to get them to be overconfident. I want them to come in swinging at me, and then I'm going to use Endure. Every weapon I'm using has got Endure on it, so I'm equipped no matter what weapon I'm using. The game plan is set, the trap is ready. I'm going to Endure and then try and get a fully charged Magma Shot in the face, and it's surprising how much damage that actually does. This invasion here is a really good example of it. Obviously this summon hasn't got a lot of vigour. We just broke his guard and we're near enough one shot with the critical attack, finished him off with the daggers. But then watch this, again this horse hasn't got a lot of vigour, but it demonstrates the game plan perfectly. Endure, fully charged Magma Shot, and he's dead. Not much vigour, that's not going to one-shot everyone, but even if it doesn't one-shot them, it's going to do a good chunk of damage, and then I can follow that up with numerous attacks from my weapons, or, you know, Rolling Magma, just to keep them on the toes. Rolling Magma is really good for setting a trap. As you can see in the start of this invasion, I put it down at my feet because I was expecting that I was going to get rushed as I spawned in. So I put it down at my feet, and the summon just walked into it. I had my chance to kill him there. I nearly messed it up because I went for the heal. I pressed the wrong thing. I was too eager to hit him with the throwing daggers, and I actually had heal out and not the daggers. I nearly messed up that kill on the summon, but luckily for me, I didn't get the chance to heal just in time, and I managed to get my daggers out and finish the job. But yeah, it's a really effective build, and as I said, it's just a mega fun playstyle. It's really cool. Having the mix-ups between the rolling magma, being able to put it down and set those traps, and having the all-out, in-your-face damage with the magma shot, making the most out of the magma shot, you know. I wanted to prove that magma shot can actually slap, and in some occasions, it really does slap. This invasion here on Gank Beach was a really good one. We got the early kill on the horse, really satisfying with the rolling magma. We set the trap and he walked right into it. We managed to finish him off, and now we're just keeping the pressure up on the horse. It's going to be a done deal soon enough. We're getting some really nice mix up on him, using our injaw, landing some big damage with the magma shots, and there we go, it's a done deal. Great invasion, good 2-on-1, and it's just another good example of how strong this build is. Now this next invasion was a really good one, but it didn't end how I wanted it to, but I really wanted to include it in this video because it demonstrates how good this build is, but it also shows no matter how good a build is, you do need to have common sense and keep your wits about you and not make any mistakes, or a really good invasion can go wrong very quickly. So let's take a look at it. I found the trio that we're fighting. One of them's got no clothes on, but he's very eager to attack. So what rolling magma again is absolutely perfect for is just setting that trap. I knew he was coming at me like, you know, just balls to the wall. He was coming out attacking me. So I just planted a little rolling magma on the wall next to me, and I knew that he was going to run into it. And I knew that he didn't have much armour on, so he's not going to have a lot of resistances. You know, once it caught him, he got absolutely nuked. He got burnt to a crisp, and he got one shot. So that's the first summon down. Now I've just got to keep up the pressure on the other two, play it safe. Keep my distance, you know, not take too much damage when I can help it, and just see what I can do against these two now. It's a good little area for an invasion. I've got some good PvE support, but these two are doing a pretty good job of clearing it all out before I can do too much damage myself. So pretty soon it's going to be just me and these two after they've cleared out all the PvE. So I'm just focusing on the second summon here. I'll break his guard. Don't get the critical attack, but I get some good damage, and I managed to follow that up with a normal running attack, and that's a summon, second summon down. So that's 2 summons down, and just as quick as I kill the second summon, they get a blue in to help them. It's just typical, isn't it? As soon as I kill the second summon, they get a blue in. This blue's obviously got a bit of brains. He didn't just run into the rolling magma, which I was expecting him to. But I'm still doing some work. I'm still keeping, you know, I've got some good heals left. I'm still keeping the damage up. I get a big cold proc on him there. I've just got to back up from this, wait for this Ash of War to finish. And there we go, I managed to kill the blue. Now this is my mistake. This is where I throw this invasion away. I go for a heal, when really there, trying to get a heal off should have been the last thing on my mind. I needed to get a bit more space away from the host. I needed to just keep my calm a little bit there, give myself a bit of room. It was too dangerous to go for the heal, but I just panicked a little bit. And I thought I'd been able to get the heal off, but I don't know what I was thinking. It was a really good invasion. I killed 2 summons, killed a blue, and then I just gifted that host the kill on me. And, you know, it's unfortunate. It would have been a really good invasion if I could have just kept my cool a little bit better there and managed to kill the host, but it was still a good invasion, you know, and it definitely shows that you've still, you know, you're learning every time, aren't you? Every time you have an invasion, and you know, you're learning a little bit more each time. Every time you make a mistake, you're learning a little bit more, and I'll definitely remember that one. So it's important, always keep your cool, guys. Always keep your cool, or you could end up losing what has been an awesome invasion. Now I just want to talk a little bit about the weapons on this build. Obviously we're using the big curve blade, the Monk's Flame Blade. We've got the Morning Star, and then we're using the whip like we're using in this invasion now, the Thorned Whip. The idea with the weapons on this is that I wanted them to be quite plain, you know, quite plain weapons. I didn't want them to be anything flashy. Obviously we're not using any flashy Ashes of War, we're just using Endure, but that's all part of the game plan to land our sorceries. But I wanted the sorceries, the Rolling Magma and the Magma Shot, I wanted those to be the standout feature of this build. I didn't want my weapons to be the main aspect of the build. I wanted all my kills, all my damage, when I could help it, to be coming from the sorceries. So, as I said, I wanted quite standard plain weapons, and I think I hit that kind of target with the weapons I've chose. They are all cold infused, but to be honest, that came later, because when I was doing these invasions and I'm invading people, sometimes you invade people who have got, you know, more than a few brain cells. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you invade people who kind of know what the crack is. And if you invade people who know what the crack is, it's going to be hard to land the sorceries on them, even if you are trying to use Endure and hit them when they're coming in attacking you. Good players, you know, sometimes you're going to struggle landing the sorceries. And I didn't even have my weapons cold infused initially, I had them magic infused. But when I was invading these players who knew what they were doing and they knew how to avoid any damage from the sorceries, I was really struggling to make an impact. The damage output from the weapons being magic infused weren't enough really to kind of take the lead in those invasions when I needed them to. As I mentioned, you know, I didn't want the weapons to be the main aspect on this build, but when you get good players who know how to avoid damage from the sorceries, the weapons need to step up in that instance to do the damage that the sorceries can't, because you can't land it. So when they were magic infused, as I said, they weren't doing much damage, so I had the idea to cold infuse them, and then at least I had the cold build up, and when I get that cold proc from my weapons, I'm getting that big burst of damage. And when I'm invading players who are a bit higher level, who know what they're doing a little bit more, you know, you get over level summons and whatnot. Before, when they were magic infused, I just weren't getting any damage, but once they were cold infused, I started having a lot more success. It's got nothing to do with the fact that I'm using fire sorceries and I've got cold weapons. It's nothing to do with ice and fire, although it does work well together because we can, you know, proc ice and then reset it with the fire and all that good stuff. It's got nothing to do with that, honestly. I literally just cold infused them because, like I said, I needed a bit more damage when the weapons had to step up. And like I said, I just had a lot more success once I did that. The whip actually turned out to be my favourite weapon out of all the ones I was using. I did like the big curved blade initially, the Monk's Flame Blade, I think I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, the Monk's Flame Blade. I really did like that weapon, but the whip is really fun, plus it's got the blood as well, so I'm getting cold procs and I'm getting blood procs, and it's just a really effective weapon. So that was my thinking with the weapons. Nothing flash, nothing fancy, but they get the job done. So let's take a look at this invasion. I've found the duo that I've invaded here, and they've got a blue with them as soon as they arrive, so it's pretty much a 3-on-1 straight away. My first thought was just to throw a load of rolling magma over there and see if I could catch one of them in an explosion as they was busy with the PvE, and that's exactly what happened with the summon. This blue's quite tanky, he's got some good armour, he's got a good weapon, he's got a lot of poise, so he's a problem. So I was just trying to keep him busy, you know, I was trying to do some damage where I could, and then this happened. And I'm not going to lie, this was a complete fluke. Look at that. We just smashed the horse with a rolling magma. Now, rolling magma, it does have that delayed explosion, and you can use it to set traps and put all those delayed nuclear bombs all over everywhere. But if you manage to hit someone square on like that, it does do a lot of damage. Like, it's very underwhelming. There's no kind of visual effect for it if you land it on someone. But if you do land it on someone, you know, you are going to do some damage. So, you know, although it is good for the delayed explosions, direct impacts with it can be very effective as well, as we just found out. I invaded this solo guy here, and I don't know why he just threw a little bloody Ash of War over at me from those Reduvias, the bloody Ash of War thrower thing. I don't know what it's called, but I don't know why he did that. I was just chilling, letting him kill the PvE, and he got all uppity about it. So I'm going to have to teach him a lesson. Watch this. Endure Magma Shot. Mosh. Thanks for coming. See you later. I didn't want to just gank him with the PvE. I didn't fancy ganking him. I thought I'd let him finish the job, you know, get them out of the way, and then I'd have him a nice little one-on-one. But because he got all touchy about it, I thought I was just going to go in and teach him a lesson. Now I invaded this guy here outside the fight at Stormville, outside the boss room. I invaded him quite a few times, and he always had Nefali with him, and he always had this other summon with him. So as soon as I invaded him this time, oh, he did manage to kill me as well, by the way, a couple of other times. But as soon as I invaded him this time, I ran straight onto him because I knew that he didn't have a summon, and I tried to get an early kill. Unfortunately, you know, Nefali got in the way, his summons turned up, so now I'm back to square one. I'm back to how he managed to kill me all those other times I invaded him. But I managed to get a good Magma shot on him here, follow that up with a Morning Star, and there we go. Finally I managed to get the kill on this guy. I was quite chuffed with that one. That was after a few invasions of invading the same party there. Managed to get my own back. Can we also just take a moment to appreciate the fashion on this build as well? I think the fashion on this one is absolute top tier. I think it looks absolutely awesome. There's no mad character lore behind this build. There's no big backstory or anything like that. I know that's quite a main feature on a lot of the builds that I make. I like giving my characters a story. And that's what leads a lot of ideas for when I make builds. But on this occasion, and on a few other occasions, sometimes it's more about the kit. Like on this occasion, I wanted to make a build around Magma Shot, and it was all about making Magma Shot strong and making it the lead feature of this build. So there's no like crazy lore going on, it's literally just a build focused around the kit that I'm using. Sometimes that's just how it goes. It all depends, you know, it all depends. Some of my builds have backstories and lore, some of them don't. On this instance with this character, it doesn't, but it's still, you know, it's still a really cool kit. It's an awesome playstyle, and I enjoy it just as much. It doesn't make much difference to me. As fun as it is giving the characters lore and backstory, I enjoy all of them equally regardless. So yeah, I just think the fashion on this one is top tier. And making fashion choices for my builds to suit the kit I'm using is something that I absolutely love doing. Right guys, this next invasion now is the last invasion of the video. It was quite a long invasion, this one. I'll give you the super cut version of it because this one went on for quite a while and it's mind blowing. This invasion is mind blowing. Just sit back and enjoy. I'm sure someone let his hamster play the game for him for a while, or someone's let the dog or the cat just like run all over the controller, because this thing really is a one-off thing of beauty. Sit back and enjoy this invasion, and I'll see you all on the next one.